The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and precede him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught Peter and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Trying to set my hydrophobia aside, I still find myself wondering, what was Peter thinking? I mean, it's just common sense. You don't get out of a boat in the middle of a raging storm. Peter's attempt to walk on water also reminds me of the old Roadrunner cartoons. Remember the Roadrunner?
Yep.
Yes? Invariably, Wile E. Coyote would chase the Roadrunner off a cliff. The Roadrunner would make it to the other side, but Coyote would get halfway and suddenly realize there's only air underneath my feet and plummet to the ground. It's almost like they took that idea from Peter walking on water. Peter sinks. And Jesus reaches out and saves him, lifting Peter from the water. And Jesus asks, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Why did Peter doubt? Matthew does not tell us Peter's response, which seems to indicate that that question is really directed more to you and me. Why do we doubt? And I'm thinking we doubt because as we go through our life journey, we discover that faith is deceptively difficult. Now, in about 20 minutes, we'll profess our faith. Okay, it won't be that long. But that phrase is so misleading because faith is not primarily a body of beliefs. If it was, it would be very easy. We either accept or we don't. But faith is first and foremost a relationship with Jesus Christ and with his brothers and sisters, the church. And we know relationships are anything but easy. Like any relationship, our relationship with Christ and the church can grow. It can get challenged. It changes, hopefully matures and deepens, but it can also grow cold and fade. Faith isn't easy because faith is something alive and dynamic. In fact, I would say when faith begins to feel easy, watch out. Because odds are what one is calling faith is no longer faith, it's an idol. An idol that you place on the mantle to worship, but you don't allow to affect your life. Faith is not something we can rationalize or explain or even really obtain any degree of success in. If we were to attempt to explain faith, we might talk in language of reaching for the unreachable or the finite grasping for the infinite. Faith is a bridge between dichotomies. It is hope in the storm of despair. It is love in the storm of hatred. It is peace in the storm of violence. It is beauty in the storm of meanness and justice in the storm of injustice. Faith is a dynamic, spirited force that moves us from where we are to where we ought or need to be. And that journey is never easy, which is why faith can be so difficult. Faith is a risk-filled journey because it means constantly and consistently stepping out from the safety of the boat into the wind and the waves and the storm.